All right, President Trump's plans to secure our border and crack down on illegal immigrant crime are working. Earlier today, the Department of Homeland Security announced on X that under President Trump and Secretary Noem's leadership, and of course Tom Homan, border crossings have dropped a whopping 94%. Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler announced that the SBA will be moving regional offices out of sanctuary cities. But after the mess left behind by the Biden administration, there's still a lot of work to do. According to a new report, illegals are now cloning Border Patrol vehicles, all in an attempt to bypass President Trump's border crackdown. While the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, this story should numb the conscience, said almost 100 terror-linked illegals that they knew were terror-linked were released into the U.S. in 2024 alone. And during her visit to New York City yesterday, Secretary Noem announced on X that ICE launched a detainer to take into custody the illegal who set a woman on fire at a subway station in Brooklyn, New York. But because of New York's sanctuary city status, the Department of Corrections will not honor that detainer. Here with reaction is Border Czar Tom Homan. Okay, they're not going to abide by it. What happens next, Tom?
Then Pam Bondi sues him. We take him to court. But he's not going to get away. You know, if we have to sit outside that jail every day, 24/7, we'll get our hands on him because New York City or any other sanctuary city is not going to stop ICE from keeping President Trump's promise to eradicate every criminal illegal alien, every public threat illegal alien, every national security illegal alien from this country. We'll get it done. These just sanctuary cities making it harder and they're making it more dangerous, but they're not going to stop what we're doing.
Okay, the Biden administration locked up or deported only 8 out of the more than 100 illegal immigrants that they knew had suspected ties to ISIS who were crossing illegally into the U.S., according to Tulsi Gabbard. They knew who they were from. They knew these illegals, you know, had connections or were known to have ties to ISIS-affiliated networks, and they still let them go in the country. Can you explain that to me? Because I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around that.
No, I can't.
I appreciate your honesty.
And I'm with you, Sean. I've been doing this since 1984. I can't understand it. I can't understand everything that Biden administration did. I can't understand the 2.2 million known gotaways that they released in this country. You know, and who the hell are those people? 2.2 million people paid more to get away. They paid more not to take a free airline ticket to the city of their choice, not to get a free hotel room, not to get free medical care, not to get free meals a day, not to get a free work authorization. 2.2 million people paid more not to take advantage of that giveaway program. How many of them came from the country sponsoring terror? The Biden administration had one thing in mind: optics. Release them as quick as possible. Release them many times before the vetting even came back, because if there's no overcrowding, they can keep making that false claim the border's secure. It's all about optics. It was nothing about national security.
Well, and then there was the big lie that the border's secure and the border's closed, none of which was true. How are we making progress on the issue? And I was asking Secretary Noem last night, are we making progress on identifying the people that are tipping off certain groups about pending ICE raids, which, as you know, puts the lives of officers at risk because the element of surprise is taken away, and now they're walking into a trap. And somebody's going to get killed unless we get to the bottom of who's tipping them off, meaning some innocent people.
Yes, we are making progress. We are making progress. Secretary Noem is opening up her own investigations through DHS-IG. We already found one dealing with that under investigation. Department of Justice, the FBI, the Deputy Attorney General, Emil Bove, he opened up another criminal investigation into the DOJ. We will find them. We will prosecute them. The least they're going to do is lose their jobs, but they need to be prosecuted and sent to prison because, as you said, this job is already dangerous enough. President Trump has promised American people we're going to concentrate on the most significant, worst of the worst public safety threats. The job's already dangerous, and when they know we're coming, it's only a matter of time before an agent walks into an ambush, because TDA don't care about life or death. Either does MS-13, and that's what we're looking for. So this discussing on every level, whoever it is, needs to be prosecuted.
AG Bondi is bringing lawsuits to states like New York and Illinois. How many states do you identify right now that you think are having sanctuary status and aiding and abetting in the law breaking that also need to be sued?
Well, you got California, you got Illinois, you got New York, you got Colorado, you got Washington State, you got many of them. But we have prepared a list for the AG and everybody she needs to look at. And yesterday, hearing yesterday on sanctuary cities, and you had 4 mayors sat there and lied under oath constantly, attacking me for a statement that I made at CPAC that I'm going to go to Colorado and I'm going to go to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me because they've released 10 child rapists to the streets of that state. So you're damn right. I said I'm going to bring hell, and I meant it. I said it. I meant it. We're going to do it. We're bringing hell to every illegal immigrant that commits crime in this country, especially those who rape children. I won't pull back on that. I said it. I meant it. We're doing it.
That's what I like about you, Tom Homan. You really pull your punches. You know, you're a straddle the fence. But in all honesty, if we can't protect children, then what is the purpose of government? This is fundamental, and having somebody that committed gives a lot of Americans comfort. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time. We appreciate all the updates.
And a stunning claim from the former head of the Department of Homeland Security. Get this. Alejandro Mayorkas says he fought against sanctuary cities.
Why, after that individual's criminal justice sentence is served, why would a city leader release that individual onto the streets and refuse to cooperate with immigration authorities? It is something that I fought as the Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security.
Tom Homan is Trump's border czar, and I got to ask you, what did you think of that?
Well, his lips are moving means he's lying. He lied from day one. Like the bottom line is, how did he do on that quest to end sanctuary cities? Sanctuary cities tripled under his command. And he said he wanted to do something about it, but he didn't do it. And at the same time, he's talking about sheriffs releasing public safety threats and back to our streets. How about what he did on the southern border? We had 2.2 million known gotaways they did nothing about. They released national security threats through the border. They released people so quickly, they released them before vetting came back from the FBI. He was a failure as the Secretary of Homeland Security.
All right, here's another clip, right? Listen to the very end of this one. Watch.
I am very proud of what we did do. I would have liked to have wrestled with the question of communication and narration. I would have also liked to have taken on more forcefully the decline in empiricism. Facts actually matter.
Think of that. It's almost as if he wanted the border open.
Exactly. Look, facts do matter. Under his leadership, a 600% increase in sex trafficking in women and children. 2.2 million known gotaways. These are people we knew crossed the border. You had a record number of people on terrorist watch list, over 400. Trump had 14 in 4 years. We had 250,000 Americans die from fentanyl come across that open border. Massive failure, embarrassment to the position he holds.
Wanted to show you this because it's been driving me a little nuts. The Democrats for about 18 months said that there was nothing more they could do to help close the border because Congress hadn't passed a bill. Watch here. This is what they said.
It's the toughest, most efficient, most effective border security bill this country has ever seen.
Democrats were on their back foot on immigration. Now we are on our front foot.
Look, the president has been very clear. We need that bipartisan border security bill.
By any objective measure, it's strong, tough, and realistic.
I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law.
Look, a bill from Congress might be welcome, but you all have shown in 1 month you were able to shut down the border.
Because we got a strong president. President Trump did in 3 weeks what Joe Biden didn't do in 4 years. And that bipartisan border bill, look, I respect Senator Langford. He called me, walked through that bill with me. He asked me to support it. I said no. I'm not okay with 4,000 or 5,000 illegal aliens a day crossing this border as being normal. I don't want that in statute. I'm not okay with a bill that doesn't address sex trafficking in women and children. And right now, you look at the numbers, what President Trump has did, we went from an average at the highs of 10,000 to 11,000 a day under Biden to 200. 11,000 to 200. The gotaways that I spoke about. 1,800 on a day average under Joe Biden. You know what I saw the other day? 41. 1,800 to 41. We won't be happy if that number is 0, but look at the strides President Trump made in 3 weeks that Joe Biden could have done.
Mm-hmm. Sir, there was some news that Bill Melugin broke last night about the deportation of migrant families. This is the number under the Biden years for the apprehended family units, as they call them, 2.6 million. What Melugin's saying is that the families have already had their cases heard. They've been ordered to be removed. And you're going into the interior of the country to find them. How many are in that number thus far, and what is your target?
I don't have a number right now, but I'll say this. President Trump is committed. We're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security, and that's what we're going to do. But I've also said if you're in the country legally, you're not off the table. As far as families and other non-criminal illegal aliens, they can come to the border to claim asylum. They can demand to see a judge. They can demand due process, and we gave that to them. But at the end of that due process, an immigration judge says you must go home, those orders need to be executed. Because if we don't, we send a message to the whole world, continue entering this country illegally, which is a crime, go to court or not go to court, get order removed, and don't leave, and we're not going to come find you and remove you, you're never going to fix the issue. The bottom line is if we don't execute those orders, then might as well just shut down the immigration court, shut down the system, take border patrol off the border, because there's no consequences to violating our law. As sad, as emotional, as controversial immigration enforcement is, it's something we must do to secure our border and save lives. When we send a message, regardless who you are, when you have to go home under a judge's order, that means less people come, which means less women get sexually assaulted by the cartels, which means less children die crossing the border, which means less Americans die from fentanyl, which means less women and children get sex trafficked. A secure border saves lives, and you can't secure the border unless you have consequences for violating that border.
You have a tough and important job, and we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.